Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Casler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, and today we're going to take an initial look at a battery that will power my entire ham station. It'll be recharged via a solar panel, and the battery comes from a company called Power Queen. Now, oddly enough, the URL is iPower Queen. That's IPOWERQUEEN. Okay, and this is how the battery was packaged right here. Okay, there's nothing that says up anywhere, and it was just taped across the top. Now, the problem is that this battery is a little on the heavy side. Now, granted, a lead acid battery with the same capacity would weigh far more. But this thing weighs, and I'm just going to put, I've already got it out of the box, just going to put it on the scale, 22.8 pounds. Okay, that's not too bad, presumably. Now, the problem is that it had been, instead of put on our porch, was put in front of an outbuilding we have. It's Loretta's art studio, which meant I had to carry the box over the ice. I was trying to get in, and of course, if you open the door, it wants to come shut, kind of thing. Anyway, I dropped it. And if you look at the box, it's in absolutely perfect condition, except right here on this corner, and that is not really messed up at all. So the way they had packaged this was in another box on its side. Interestingly, this is the Power Queen box, and I don't know what all these numbers mean here. Made in China. It's got a warning here that note that the post bolts are in the top foam. So this thing is packaged like crazy with this top foam. It's a 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. The post bolts were in here, and they look about like that, because that is the post bolts, but they were put in right there. Now, if we take this top thing off, you can see how thick the foam is around the thing. It's very, very thick, and there wasn't even a dent on it where I had dropped it, so in very good shape. Now, the battery, like everything Chinese, is wrapped in plastic, and again, the same thing in the bottom. Now, let's take a look. The provider is Shenzhen Lizhu Time Technology Company Limited, and their website is ipowerqueen.com. This was torn when we got it. This side right here has some important information, including the serial number of the battery, and then I'm guessing that's the model number. Okay, and they're shipping these around the world, so they want to claim every bit of credit that they can. It is marked on the outside of this box. No marking on this box. It says lead. That's what that means, L-E-A-D, in the sense of lead, being a leader in value. Okay, same thing on the other side. And then this way up. The stacked layer limit, I think, is 5 of these on top of each other. Fragile, they're a fire prevention kind of thing. Keep them dry, and this way up. Of course, it was shipped on its side. This is it. Now, it claims trolling motor. It's a deep cycle battery. Trolling motor, smart edition. It's a group 31 size. Okay, lithium iron phosphate. It has Bluetooth capability. That's pretty cool. It also has a self-heating capability for temporary low temperature usage. For example, if you are out fishing and it's very cold out there, this thing will keep itself warm enough to keep the peak power going. It says 12.8 volts. I'm sorry, lithium ion batteries. If you get down to 12.8 volts, you're way past the point where you should be charging it. It says 100 amp hours. Now that actually means that you could actually take that much out, although you shouldn't take the battery all the way to the point of charge. Maybe 20% or something like that, and then not charge it over 80%. And we're going to put this in a little bit different application. Let's take a look at the top. This is where you get the app for your phone to monitor the battery. And then when you're setting up the Bluetooth in the app, this is what you need to get that app. Okay, so you've got www.ipowerqueen.com. Okay, and you can also email service. This is the FCC ID 2 Bravo Echo 5 Juliet. That is the manufacturer part. And then the model number is 12 volt 100. Okay, I have a feeling that covers a few models. This is the Smart Edition trolling motor, which is a deep cycle battery. 12.8 volts. I will tell you a fully charged battery will put out closer to 13.8, whereas a fully charged lead acid battery that is rested will only put out 12.7 and will degrade down to 12 when it is halfway emptied. It's a little harder to tell the capacity of the lithium ion because they stay pretty steady voltage. But underneath this plastic top right here, you can't take it off and look at it. It's sealed. And in fact, when I suggested to them that I wanted to get some pictures of the battery management system, they said they'll send them. Please don't take the thing apart. Okay, the charging voltage, and this is important, 14.4 volts plus or minus 0.2 volts. That means it can go up to 14.6. Now, my 250 watt solar panel out there puts out closer to 36. So I have a little charge controller that puts out 14.6 when the panel is in the sun. Max continuous charge discharge current is 100 amps. You could run probably a smaller amplifier on this thing too if you want it. Maximum continuous output power is 1280 watts, and they get that by multiplying 100 by 12.8. Now, maximum continuous charge or discharge current, 100 amps. This is not a starter battery because the way a battery works on an automobile is it will draw all the current it can and put it through the starter motor, which will draw the battery voltage way down. You try that with this, the battery management system will shut you off in an instant. So don't use this for anything other than what it's supposed to be. Do not open, puncture, heat the battery, expose metal terminal. Don't leave it out in the sun in the summer. Okay, do not touch, if it does break, do not touch the exposed electrolyte or powder. And there is a risk of fire and burns. Improper use of the battery can lead to battery failure or other potential damage. That is what the battery management system is for. It does have a low temp rating because it has a little bit of internal heating. Okay, and now this thing has these plastic goodies sitting on top here, keeping you from accidentally putting stuff in there. Now we're going to install this in the station and give it a year, which is what I did to this old battery down here, okay? It's been in position for a year, and that battery, this battery right here, is going to come out. We'll find a use for it. But it's been in the station for a year and has performed flawlessly. It's charged only by the solar panel. Now, this comes in, this is kind of cool, a bag that's just the right size with a tag. If you want, you can tag this onto the battery right down there, and then that way you won't lose it. Now, here's what's inside. You have the manual, a bunch of stickers, your kids will love those, and a quick start guide with some connecting precautions and so on. It wants to stay upright, and it can. Notice before use, it says to wear insulating gloves. 12 volts is not enough. If you touch your hands across, it's not enough to cause an issue. About 30 volts is where it starts to cause an issue. It wants you to be very careful putting things on. If we look in the manual, it says pretty much what we've talked about already. And then here, the bolts on the top look like 1/4 inch. They're not. They're M8. M8 and 5/8 or 16 millimeter terminal bolts. Safety information, some warnings about the battery, contents, battery parameters, and so on. And you can get the app at the App Store by following the instructions here. and it gives you some things here to look at, temperature ranges and things. They do not provide a battery charger for this. What you need to do is have something that will provide 14.4 to 14.6 volts, okay? Recommended cabling size. You can put these in parallel or series. If you do that, I would suggest you use identical batteries, okay? So not just any old 100 amp hour lithium ion battery. Now, one thing, if it stops working, and it had done this for me, I think because I dropped it, the only voltage coming out of it was about 3.8 volts, which meant that the battery management system had shut it down. Now, the way you get the battery management system to give you back your battery is you put a little charge current on this thing, and the battery management system will say, hallelujah, we're working again. Okay, so let's come back. But it tells you how to do that and what to do. Okay, it's fairly simple. So what we're going to do now is put this in place down there where the old battery was. Okay, now I pointed out earlier that you need to download the Power Queen. There's a QR code for downloading the app, and then there's a different QR code that you use to connect your cell phone to the battery. But if we push on that, now what we see right here, this is really about all there is. You can go to these other things, and they give you some, troubleshooting guides, and that removes the device. I'm not wanting to renew it. This is what you're really looking for. Now this right here, when that is up, that means the Bluetooth is connected. It's going to start out not connected. So you got to follow the instructions to connect it to the Bluetooth that's in the battery. And you will do that by, see, we're just going to go back to the main page. Find your battery, okay, and with your cell phone, and then do the thing where you take a picture, or try to take a picture of it, and it'll immediately put that Bluetooth in place. Now it tells you the SOC is state of charge, not Southern California, it's state of charge. We're at 80 amp hours right now. And the remaining charging time is about 3 hours, so it won't get there before the sun goes down today. Now, the amount of power going into it right now is 85 watts. 6.3 amps of current. Up here, we have the voltage of the solar panel and the current coming out of it. This thing I'm touching with my finger right here is the actual charge controller. It's a maximum power point controller. You can get those things easily on Amazon. And they make a whole bunch of weird ones. Like if you've got a 24 volt battery, you can use one of those to convert it to 12 volts for the use of your rig. When we look at it, this is the actual voltage of the battery itself coming out. This is after the charge controller, okay? And the current going into the battery is that. cells. Battery is in optimal working condition. The battery management system is running smoothly. All cells are well balanced. That's nice to know. It doesn't really give you anything. So there you go. You can check on your battery at any time for what it does. It's a nice little thing, like if you're using this in an RV, it's nice to check and make sure that everything is as it should be. Now this is going to fill up partly the rest of the day, and then tomorrow we'll finish it off. Note that the maximum power point tracker up there is giving us 5.5 amps at 13.5 volts, which is the current voltage of the battery itself. And it's got the serial number if you need it. The cycle times are the number of times you've gotten the thing down to low voltage. If you keep charging it, you won't see that much. And of course, the firmware can be updated. By the way, there is firmware in the battery management system, and you can change that from here. What I do have up here, this is an old voltmeter, and I had to change the scale. Right there, you see 13 volts, and there's 14 volts. Okay, the other scale's not accurate. I put a shunt in there, and you'll notice this is pegged out charging current at over 2.5, so it's about 3 amps that this is showing, but from the battery, not from, it's actually the battery. This up here is how we manage the charge. This thing pegs out if it gets too much. So, thus begins the 1-year test. It was installed on the 1st of March, 2025. It arrived just a couple days ago, and we're going to have this video up very soon. And I'll check the battery at points along, and especially if I have any issues with the battery, I'll let you know. I do not anticipate any. That last 100 amp hour battery that we had in there, same size, same type of thing with the screw-in terminals on it, was flawless, performed flawlessly during its 1-year test in place. So now we begin the 1-year test in place for that battery. And everything, including one of the video lights, runs off of that battery. So there you have it. If you would like to help support this channel, there's so many things you can do. Ones that don't cost anything are to subscribe. And if you want to be notified when I put up new videos, which is every day, you will get the notifications however you choose to be notified by email. I get my notifications as messages on here. So you can subscribe, you can click like, that really helps. You can leave a comment. If there are more comments, the YouTube algorithm says, it's generating some activity here. So if you like it or don't like it, or kind of like it, or would like to know more, leave a comment. Teagan goes through all of those and pulls the good juicy ones up for me to comment about in shorts. That's where we answer the comment questions, okay, is in the shorts. So we're going to do 4 full-length videos, long-form videos a week, and 3 shorts. There's just a little conference with my assistant there, Teagan. He's pretty amazing. He's also in a marching band and does all kinds of things with that. He plays the tuba. He should bring it down here sometime and cause the roof to shake with the low notes that that thing makes. Okay, another way that you can help the channel out is by becoming a member of the channel. Now, as a member, where it's $2, $5, and $10 a month, you get early access to the videos. As we make them, we post them so that the people who are members get to see them, the PayPal subscribers get to see them, the patrons get to see them, and those who have dropped anything in the tip jar that month get to see the videos ahead of their general release. So that's a good thing to do. We're trying to keep you informed. And if you have anything you would like to comment to me on, directly send an email to AskDave, all one word, AskDave at ARRL.org. Until we next meet, 73.